let's talk anime. Hello and welcome to Brandon's Discuss Anime, the Reckless Amoeba podcast. How are you doing tonight, guys?
Beep, beep. Beep, beep. Beep, beep.
Oh, crickets.
They're the only thing in this alleyway with us besides the rats.
We do record in dark alleys for the atmosphere.
Look, we just can't get a studio, all right? They won't let us in yet.
Plus, there's lots of outlets in this alley.
Yes.
Who knows what's down? Who knows what's down this alley? You know, could be some random killer.
I hope so.
Could be an evil tyrannical overlord.
Could be a naked guy.
It could very well be a naked guy flashing us.
Oh, I found out that FYE has a new line of milk chocolate bars out with some interesting flavors.
Interesting.
Some good. Yes, some good, some eh. So, we have popcorn and milk chocolate.
Why not?
Sounds good. We have peanut butter and jelly and milk chocolate.
I mean,
that sounds
I'll
good.
give it a shot. It sounds like it's worth trying.
We have taco and milk chocolate.
All right, now here's where I'm getting
chocolate.
confused. All right, is the meat in there? Is there bits of taco shell, tomato, lettuce? What all is incorporated in this chocolate?
I don't know. And we have French fry and milk chocolate.
Please tell me that this chocolate is coated in ketchup.
French fries and milk chocolate.
Yes, there is ketchup in that too. It's called Funky Fry and Killer Ketchup.
I feel like it needs to be salty.
Yeah. So, although I can't find a picture now that has the popcorn in the pic, I just sent you guys a pic in the Skype chat just for you to glance at the bars.
What was the other one that's not pictured here?
The popcorn.
I approve of this art style. I like this. It makes it pop out.
Yeah, and if you're looking for them at FYE, they're called Food Fight.
I just realized something. I don't know.
What?
Alright, I'm looking at the peanut butter and jelly chocolate, right?
Mm-hmm.
The two strawberries are tits.
But then, what is it on the...
The peanut butter is a peanut being a bow tie.
Oh.
I love it. I love it. It's so clever.
Oh.
It's so clever. It's so good.
Oh, and speaking about so good, so clever, Rick and Morty's back.
Yay, Rick and Morty.
Oh my god, no, not the pickle. Anything but the pickle.
Pickle Rick!
Pickle Rick!
It's like the new I'm Rick James bitch.
Oh god, Rick turns himself into a pickle just so he can avoid family therapy. It's so beautiful. He goes down into the sewers, ends up having to create a fucking, rat suit to walk around as a pickle. I saw that, right? And I'm just thinking, okay, how did he actually get, this cockroach suit before he got the rat suit? How did he make that? Because he doesn't have limbs.
I'm sure the cockroaches were helping him out.
He had to kill them and use their, he's a pickle, right? He has, his eyes, yes, his mouth, his nose, and his unibrow. That's about all he's got on him besides.
Well, there you go.
He's just a pickle. You see him literally kill a cockroach and then use his tongue to poke at the brain of the cockroach to make the cockroach move.
That's how you do it.
Huh.
My question is, how do you make it do things, right, that are so intricate that you don't have the opposable thumbs for?
He's got eyebrows, right?
Brandon, Rick and Morty is a cartoon.
I know, but Rick's supposed to be a
disbelief.
genius. Rick is supposed to be a genius. I want to know how he does it.
Suspension of disbelief.
Oh no, I believe he does it. I just want to see how. I'm willing to suspend my disbelief. I just want to see how he did it. I'm very interested.
It's beyond your able to understand.
I think it's beyond the writer's ability to understand. I mean, they didn't show us.
Well, they didn't show you because it would just blow your mind.
Well, blew theirs, apparently.
I mean, I've watched a guy roll a cigarette and then light it with a match who had no arms and legs, so...
Huh.
But was he a pickle?
Practically. He still had a neck, so, you know, he could wiggle around a lot.
See, a pickle
But,
couldn't do that.
Right, yeah, that's the pickle of being a pickle.
Oh, I see what you did there.
It's a pickle.
Yeah, no, Rick and Morty's back. I'm excited. Rick as a pickle with, like, a fucking mech suit made out of rat parts is freaking amazing.
Yes.
And how about that Game of Thrones?
I mean, you can talk about it, but I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I don't watch Game of Thrones.
Well, it's this thing where they play music and you all walk around a number of chairs, but there's one less chair than is people. See?
Oh, you see, I like this game. I have played this game.
It is a hell of a game.
But
They're
how
called
is
thrones because they're chairs.
Ah.
And here I thought it was because they were toilets.
No, that's a common misconception, actually. That's led to a lot of infectious events.
That's how the cheaters play the game.
Infectious event. That's a new band name.
Oh, no.
Anything else you guys want to talk about before we dive into today's topic?
Well, let me just go ahead and put this on the table then. I am hyped for the new DuckTales.
Woo!
I want it so bad. I've seen the characters. I've seen the art style. It's more or less taken from the comics in their styling. Kind of actually reminds me of the way Loud House is drawn, because Loud House is it's just straight up Charlie Brown style.
Oh, if you love it so much, why don't you marry it?
Hey, look, man, I would totally do that. I just don't think it's legal in this state.
That's the word of the day. Legal in the state.
That's actually 3 words.
Shh. There are
4
hyphens.
Maybe you should get in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
So
I'm
corny.
curious. I love the fact that they put David Tennant as the new Scrooge McDuck. He does a phenomenal job. I will miss the old voice actor because, in childhood, I'm kind of attached to that. Same with Launchpad. But the fact that
I
they've
really don't understand why they didn't go with him. He's still alive.
I
It's not
know.
like Scrooge McDuck is a young dude or anything.
I know. It's a shame. I would love to see him come back.
It's not like it's
I thought he
money.
died.
Maybe.
If he did die, then
I don't know.
Then it's a thing that you can't
I don't
fix.
follow him often.
I mean, unless
Yeah.
you want to get into necromancy.
Let's just pretend he died.
But
And he probably did. He will eventually.
we all will,
Wait. What?
unless we put our heads in jars.
No, not me, though, right?
What do you mean? What? I mean, yes, you. Unless you put your head in a jar.
Oh, okay. No, I've got lots of jars.
Alan Young did die.
Oh, there we go.
Original voice of Scrooge. About a year and a half ago, as of this recording.
Oh, he just missed
So wait.
it.
Was that 2016 then?
Yep.
Yep.
May 19th, 2016.
What about
Yeah,
Launchpad's
not-
voice actor?
That was not a good year for
I have no
celebrities.
idea who his name is.
Let's do a little research live.
You almost, just thinking of his voice in my head, he sounds like Dave Goulier. Hey, Mr. McDuck. Whoa.
Let's see here. Voices. Terry
That's the
McGovern.
worst impression ever.
He's still alive.
Yep, he's still around.
Yep.
Well,
Man.
then you can be filled with vicious hatred now.
This disappoints me. Who's the current voice actor? Beck Bennett is the current voice actor for the new one.
Beck Bennett. I feel like I know who that is.
It sounds like a familiar name,
Right?
Hmm.
It's a good name. Beck Bennett.
but no, I am extremely excited for this. I'm glad that they made all of the Huey, Dewey, and Louie have different voices. It helps us them
Yeah.
start as different characters, rather than just them being the same character in a different outfit. Or a different colored outfit,
Yeah.
actually, making it worse.
Yeah.
And they've made Webby not so annoying. Because, my
yeah, that's
God.
one of those things that when you're a kid, you don't really notice how annoying her voice is because you're a kid and you're annoying yourself. But as an adult, it's really hard to listen to her voice.
It's like nails on a chalkboard, and on top of that, her point in the stories
can't even-
never worked.
Yeah, it was.
It was
Yeah.
always, I'm a girl, and I want to do what the boys are doing. Whereas in
Okay,
this
turn
one,
me on now.
it's
But only
like
because it's you.
there's literally like a snippet that I saw, right, where Webby has got on like a pair of night vision goggles, has climbed her way to the top of this dark closet shelf,
Oh,
grabs
I know that
a
one.
cookie out of the last cookie out of the cookie jar. It's oatmeal raisin. She's just like, oatmeal raisin? Oh, come on. And you just see Huey step into the doorway and be like, oh, I got the last chocolate chip. She's like staring at him for a couple seconds, eyes dilate, and she just launches herself at him. I'm just like, okay, this is a good character. I'm in.
Women enjoy chocolate.
The one thing that's confused me is Mrs. Beakley in this one, because she's buff as shit, and I don't know why.
Lousy feminazis.
Well, she's a ninja.
I don't how. Like she's
Ninjas aren't
super buff, whereas in like the original series, she's like this she's your classic
Frail.
like solid man. Like she's the layman, the one who's just straight, the straight man. Is what I should say.
Yeah, she's
like she's the normal person. She's just a randomly hired maid that suddenly finds herself in these bullshit problems.
Well, you know, in the Batman comic books, Alfred was gone for a while, and Bruce had a maid, Harriet, Aunt Harriet, and like not really his aunt. They just called her that. And then when they started the TV show, they brought Alfred back, and so because the TV show had Alfred, they brought Alfred back in the comic books too. But Aunt Harriet was pretty much that character, the same kind of straight woman who's just there to be like, oh, you boys always off running around. Ha ha ha. It's like, how do you not? First of all, you should be worried about what's going on in the bedroom with those two. Second of all, you should really check out their study. Look at that Shakespeare bust. Really check that out. Damn it, Aunt Harriet. All right, let's get into the world's greatest anime of all time.
Maybe Dragon Ball Z.
Ooh.
Andrew is somewhat familiar with Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon.
Everyone?
Rock the dragon.
I mean, I am human.
Dragon Ball Z.
Chasing that
Guitar
dragon.
solo. Dragon Ball Z.
That is the one thing that always
Ricky the
bothers me about
Steamboat.
90s anime is how they like alter some of the weirdest things, like the music in this one.
Yeah, and I found it interesting as I was doing research for the podcast Nobody Will Hear, our failed first attempt at making a podcast. Actually, in the American opening, they use footage from the first 3 Dragon Ball movies.
Yeah, they do. It's those
That's
weird fucking things. Like I remember because I was watching I was watching what was it? History of Trunks, right? The TV special at one point. And I'm like, you know what?
I'm sorry, did you just say History of Trunks?
Yes.
Oh, we'll get into this. We'll get into this.
We'll get there later.
Trunks.
Don't worry about
the
it.
things you store things in?
Oh, don't worry.
I'm worried about
His
it.
grandfather
This
is
is
called
worrisome.
Professor Briefs.
No.
Pants? Are they pants or are they like storage devices? I need this spelled out for me, I think.
It's gonna get more confusing. Trust me.
That's
Okay,
what
but-
I'm here for.
Yeah, but let's just
That's what
say
the drugs are for.
Toriyama loves puns.
Who doesn't?
Or he just hates naming things. One of the two. But no, I was watching History of Trunks, right? And I'm like, you know what? I've seen this in English, and because it hasn't been redone, we have the original dub from like the early '90s,
Yeah.
and it's just like it's not that good. Like you can see how some of the acting is stilted. So I'm like, oh, let's see what this is like in Japanese because I've never seen the Japanese version. And literally, there are scenes that are just mixed around for no reason. Like at one point, we get into this part where we have the twins there, and when I say twins, you'll know what I mean, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
And they're there, and they're like counting down, right? And in the American version, the girl starts first and counts down like the first 5 numbers, and then the boy counts down the last 5, right? Whereas in the actual Japanese version, they intersperse it.
That's weird.
So it's like, I know. I'm like, what are these weird cuts here for no reason?
Yeah, and I was actually watching a side-by-side comparison of Power Rangers for some reason, and like for Sword Slash in the Sentai version, they would cut off like the last quarter second of the sword slice, and I'm like, why? Why a quarter second?
Because then it means that he actually got sliced in half, and we can't hear that in America, broadcasting. That's not right.
Yeah, the kids wouldn't approve.
Yeah, because it's like I have this Ultimate Edition of Dawn of the Dead that has the European version, the extended version, and the theatrical version.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the European version is just, it's kind of like that, where it's just spliced together sort of differently, and it's hard to figure out why exactly. It's just, they'll tell you that it's because of cultural differences, or audiences in this country need this sort of formatted narrative, but it's you watch them and you're like, I don't know. I don't get it. It seems like the same thing, just slightly different.
It's one of those things where it's like I kind of want to watch the series again in the Japanese version to see like exactly what the fuck is different.
Maybe that's why they do it. Maybe they're like, look, there's going to be nerds looking for stuff, so we got to give it to them.
Well, I mean, that would be the case normally, but when this stuff first aired, it was the early 90s, and you couldn't find any of this shit. Like, there wasn't an internet to look for it. You had to bootleg stuff and hope you got the right stuff.
The prehistoric era.
So just a little bit about Dragon Ball Z. It's actually the second half of the overarching Dragon Ball storyline. Dragon Ball was from 1984 to 1988, and Dragon Ball Z was from 1988 to 1995. So that was a good 11 years of the adventures of Goku and his friends.
Actually got off to a rocky start at the beginning, surprisingly enough. Because just collecting the Dragon Balls wasn't that interesting to a lot of people. It only took until he got into the actual fighting arc when Goku starts training under Roshi with Krillin, where people started really picking it up.
You just don't appreciate balls enough.
And no, these are not dragon testicles, Andrew.
Hey, I haven't... Are you sure, though?
I was going to say he hasn't assumed that yet, but now you're giving him ideas.
Oh, I'm just going to recycle one of his failed jokes. Not failed jokes, like jokes from the failed podcast.
You're already dooming me here.
Oh.
I mean, how many dragon's testicles have you seen in person? Okay.
0.
Right. So, don't be telling me what is and isn't.
All we have to
testicle
do is go to that
Easter.
one island where they have Komodo dragons, and then we can be sure.
So wait, they're dragons that are made out of toilets? Commode dragons?
No. The toilets were named after the dragons.
So commode dragons. So they're like toilet dragon?
Exactly. See, you're starting to understand.
Okay.
Don't worry.
I understand.
This sounds right up Toriyama's alley.
Japanese are weird.
So basically, here's our start off. All right, you spent like this entire first half of this series of Dragon Ball, right? And you're like, Goku, he's the strongest guy on the planet. He's so great. And then you start off Dragon Ball Z with, but he's an alien.
Now, would you...
Yeah.
One of the interesting things I find about Goku in modern culture is there's a lot of people who claim not only is he the most powerful guy in this thing, but is Goku the most powerful, physical...
No.
Are you saying, like, is he the most powerful
No.
human? Or, like, most powerful character ever made?
Most powerful humanoid.
No.
I mean, I guess there's people who can just rip people apart with their brains.
Those exist, really yes, but no. Goku's not the most powerful.
We call them brain rippers.
Yeah.
That's a
basically,
thing.
Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball is a type of anime where it's like, okay, I need to get stronger to fight person who's challenging me. Oh, I beat them. Oh, look, somebody who's stronger. And they're the new villain. Let's beat them. Oh, look, somebody who's stronger.
It's a
so
series
how much
that
leveling up is there?
Constantly raises the stakes. Oh, it depends. There's a point in here where numbers become pointless.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm here for.
At the end of today's episode will be the point where numbers don't matter. And next week during Dragon Ball Part 2, then we just get into insanity.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Beautiful, sweet insanity.
Yeah. And we get into, like, weirdness.
Man, I love weirdness.
Very fun stuff.
What do they even mean by that?
So,
it's
anyway,
weirdness that's just It's beyond itself.
Mhm.
Anyway, we find out that Goku's an alien because his brother drops down and goes like, "Hey, yo, Goku, you're an alien. I'm gonna kidnap your kids so you can kill the planet because that's what you were supposed to do here. Instead, you're making friends with these mortal people."
Yep, and we find out Goku's real name is Kakarot, and his brother is Raditz. Yep.
So,
and the other
real name,
and
that's
the other
his
guys
real name. Where'd Goku come from?
Goku-
Who's calling him Goku?
Goku came from his adoptive grandfather.
That answers
yeah.
that.
Who?
But so who was his original father that named him that other name that I don't remember at all?
Bardock.
No, I'm not Bardock.
Bardock.
Bardock?
Yeah, I don't know why I asked since I'm not remembering that name either. Moving on.
Yeah, that was only in like a TV
Bardock
special.
was from
and
if you
and
notice,
currently he was
special
remade
episode.
in a manga chapter.
and if you notice, they're all vegetables. Yes, Toriyama loves puns. He also looks into the refrigerator to find out what he should name his next character.
Kakarot is supposed to be just a pun on carrot. You've got Raditz, which is a pun
Gotta
on
look
radish.
somewhere.
Radish.
Don't worry, there's going to be 2 more coming up too. Raditz shows up. Goku's got to face off with his worst enemy from the original half of the series, Piccolo, who is a green slug man who calls himself a demon. They fight Raditz. Goku dies. Your main character dies.
In episode 5.
Okay, so there's my question. Goku in one corner, Jesus in the other. Who wins?
I mean, they both get resurrected.
Oh, that's right. I guess no one wins, huh?
Because the Dragon Ball's magic.
Whoever wins, we lose.
But yes, Goku goes off to the heaven, I guess in this case, or what they call in the dub, the other world.
Afterlife. And on his way there, he falls into H-E-L-L. Oh, I'm sorry. H-F-I-L.
Hold on. Andrew, I need to ask you, what do you think H-E... Or what is it? What's the...
H-F-I-L.
Yes, what do you think that stands for?
It almost seems like it's hell.
It almost seems like it, but we had to edit it, and now it stands for something.
But due to editing.
Oh, so now it stands for something.
Yes, it's now an acronym. So what does it stand for? Please tell us.
Hattori Taco is lit.
No, I'm sorry.
Got it. No, that's...
The
you should
home
check.
for infinite losers.
Alright, this
is also filler, which we should probably be skipping. But yes, Goku goes off to the other world. He starts training there because as he died, the rest of the people that were there find out that there are 2 more Saiyans on the way. Raditz wasn't the only one.
Nappa and Vegeta.
Nappa Radish. Or Nappa Cabbage.
Nappa Radish.
I'm sorry. Nappa Cabbage and Vegeta is vegetable. Which is kind of debatable on whether or not that's his actual name or it's just a title.
That could be his last name.
It could be, but I mean, shouldn't certain people know his first name then?
I don't know.
It's weird and unclear. But everybody goes off, everybody trains, everybody gets ready. A year later, they wish Goku back with the Dragon Balls. Big problem though, Goku's got to make a freaking bat out of hell and get back to the actual entry point to the Earth.
And can we just mention King Kai for just a quick second? How thinks Goku is there to train for comedy?
I mean, first. Goku also thinks King Kai was the monkey.
Oh, yes.
Well, doesn't Goku have a monkey tail?
He used to. That got cut off before Z.
So shouldn't he keep his monkey mouth shut about calling other people monkeys?
Probably.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and just bouncing back to a little bit of Origin Ball Z, and this is like a quote-unquote remake of Journey to the West with like the main character was a monkey named Son Goku. I mean, not remake, heavily inspired by Journey to the West.
I mean, that's part of the reason why the first part of Dragon Ball didn't work out. It was kind of a carbon copy of Journey to the West.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was far closer there. It was after, the whole Roshi training thing that it started making itself known as its own thing.
Huh. Well, I learned something.
So you're telling me Dragon Ball is all just a rip-off of this other show?
Well, I mean, a lot of anime is in this case, because Journey to the West is such a famous and well-used story.
But this is the greatest anime of all time.
Yes, piggybacking off of the greatest story of all time.
The Bible?
Oh, of course.
Isn't Romance of the Three Kingdoms
debatably
bigger?
It depends on which one's more famous and which one you want to. You want to get into a debate about it? Go somewhere else. We don't want to do that here.
All right, me and Brandon are gonna leave. You keep talking.
Yep.
Yay! I'm taking over.
No.
I'll just replace myself with Louie.
Yeah.
Please don't make Louie into soup.
Meow. Okay, so Goku flies.
Meantime,
back to Earth.
we've lost Yamcha, we've lost Tien, we've lost Chiaotzu.
We've lost our marbles.
So we're down 3 guys out of 6.
Yeah, with the best named attack. Goodbye, Mr. Tien. Which, according to the Dragon Ball Wiki, is the real name of the attack. Because in Dragon Ball Z World, you shout the name of your attack, and right before he died, his last words, right before he did a kamikaze
he just self-destructed. He's a Voltor.
Was "Goodbye, Mr. Tien."
Oh man, but yeah, no, we've lost those 3 between Raditz and Nappa, or Raditz and Nappa, Vegeta and Nappa fighting, or just Nappa in this case, just destroying them. The only ones left are Krillin, Piccolo, and Gohan, which is Goku's son, which he named after his adopted grandfather, Gohan. So we're not confusing at all now. But yes, fighting goes down. Vegeta eventually says, "Look, we'll wait for Goku to show up. Kakarot, this disgusting low-level Saiyan. Ugh. We'll wait for him. He killed Raditz after all. We need to see how strong he actually is." And of course, it's not at all for Vegeta.
Rip his clothes off while we're fighting with him.
It's not at all for Vegeta to just stroke his ego. Not at all. No, can't be. So they wait. Goku eventually shows up, but he's too little too late, as the other 3 have been kind of beaten into the ground.
Yeah.
Did not Gohan, did Piccolo die at this point, or did he die afterward?
I'm not 100%.
I don't recall.
Sure.
It doesn't really matter. Point is, Piccolo does die in this, protecting Gohan from an attack.
Then he comes back, though, right?
Which causes Goku to go berserk, like rage building, power level building. It's over 9,000.
Goku going all off.
Which
on Vegeta being all pissy assed.
The actual dub is over 8,000.
Yeah. Like we said, those weird, meaningless changes.
Well, see, because
like
in
numbers
Japan, they really like the number 8.
Won't matter.
So, you know.
But yeah, we get into this, right? We get into this whole fight. Goku easily destroys Nappa without an issue. Nappa's sitting there basically with a broken spine, being like, "Vegeta, help me! Oh God!" And then Vegeta's all like, "Sure, I'll help you." Grabs the hand, throws him up into the air, and kills him with a blast.
That's, somewhat helpful.
Oh yeah, Nappa's dead. Nappa's just straight up dead.
That's why you don't ask for help.
So then it's down to Goku versus Vegeta. It's gonna be the greatest fight of the century, as you get to see Goku go Kaioken, which multiplies his power by whatever multiple he decides. And
he's like, "Oh, I can't do this at all. This might kill me." And then
because it's supposed to tear his
like times 10.
Yeah, it's supposed to tear his body apart from the inside out if it's misused. If he mishandles it.
Yeah, and then he just does it times 10.
Yeah.
Which
actually no,
sure
he doesn't do times 10 in this fight. He only goes to times 4.
Which pushes his body to the limit.
That's kind of what Goku is, just pushing his body beyond its limit, pushing himself beyond his limits. That's what he does.
He's
a man who breaks limits.
Fights for the rights of every man.
But he's not American.
Yeah, he's not even Earthling.
Yeah, not too much singing if you don't want to get a copyright strike.
Fight for your right. Fight for your life.
But, moving on.
Okay, I'll go
Goku versus Vegeta. We have all this fun stuff where Goku's flying around, fighting Vegeta. It gets to the point where Vegeta goes, "Ah, no! I'm getting tired of this. I'm just going to end it now. I'm going to turn into a giant monkey."
It's like Power Rangers where he should have
They can do
started
that.
with that, but he was like, nah, I enjoy
No. He much rather
leveling it
suit his
up.
ego
Yeah,
to say like, oh, I had
yeah.
all this extra power, but I didn't need it to
Right.
take you down.
Ego is a good explanation for villains doing dumb things.
Yeah, and Vegeta's got a very big ego. But
And a penis.
he ends up transforming into this giant monkey form through some weird magic-y bullshit that makes it look like a moon. So we have our classic
Yes.
power beam struggle that becomes a cornerstone in all of Dragon Ball between Goku and Vegeta. Vegeta gets blown away, comes back down, turns himself into the ape. No,
Gets his
this is
tail
when he turns
sliced
into the
off.
ape now. He turns into the ape.
Okay.
He fights Goku, more or less cripples Goku to the point of crushing his body and limbs.
will break you.
Gohan goes berserk, tries fighting him, and eventually Vegeta just gets his tail sliced off and he changes back into his normal form.
So, was that his final form?
Not quite yet.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
Maybe in this arc.
Yeah, and then Gohan sees the quote unquote moon. He transforms into a giant ape and
As one does.
and nearly crushes Vegeta.
Nearly crushes Vegeta. Vegeta's essentially crippled at this point too. Like he's crawling back to his spaceship to get away.
And of course, Goku, being Goku, shows him mercy.
Aww.
First of all, Krillin's about to kill Vegeta by stabbing him in the back with a sword. Goku basically says, "Don't do it. I want him to get stronger so we can fight again." Because Goku really likes fighting strong guys.
Yeah,
that's a bit questionable.
he has a bit of a problem.
Yeah, and in the dub, it's just
that.
like, no, show him mercy. It's not. It's because It's not because I'm a good guy and show mercy. It's because I want to fight him again. So Goku's selfishness is putting the world at stake. So then we go ahead.
Okay.
Vegeta's gone. Little bit of time goes by. Goku's all wrapped up in casts in the hospital, and he can't move and shit. He's all irritated by it. They want to bring back their friends, right? Like Yamcha, Tien, and Chiaotzu, who died, and Piccolo. But they can't do that because Piccolo is linked to Kami, and Kami, when he dies, you lose the Dragon Balls. So there's no wishing people back when the Dragon Balls are gone.
So the Dragon Balls are in the hands of the communists.
The communists, yes.
Communists. I'm sorry, I mispronounced that.
Look at Bing.
That was the worst drum set.
I'm sorry.
So the thing is, one of the things that was mentioned during the fight with Vegeta, Nappa, and the other humans that were there is that Piccolo is actually what they call an Namekian, another alien. So, if they go to planet Namek, where Piccolo and Kami were originally from, they'll find a new set of Dragon Balls and be able to wish back their friends. Good idea, no?
See, I feel like if you were telling this story to me, I'd prefer you to just be like, so Piccolo's an alien, stop. Then he goes to this planet, stop. Instead of being like, so Piccolo's a blah 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 blah, and he goes back to blah 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 blah. I'm a jackass. Go on.
Yes, you are. Anyway, we get Krillin, Gohan, and Bulma going off. Bulma being the original genius who found Goku out in the wilderness.
Yep.
And has been good friends with Goku since he was a child at that point. But anyway, they go off to planet Namek to go and try and bring back everyone else with these new Dragon Balls that they know of.
Yeah, and on the way there, they had a small filler arc of a fake
that everyone hated.
With fake, with fake Dragon Balls.
Nobody likes it. Nobody does.
Ugh.
Yeah, I heard it just seemed weird to me as I was reading
it was the worst because they had no idea what Namek was going to look like to begin
with.
Yeah, so that's why it was a fake planet Namek. Right?
Well, I mean, the anime staff had no idea what Namek would look like when it actually came out. They were that close to the actual manga.
Well, so there's no fake that thing you said that I should remember the name of in the manga. Then.
No, there is no fake Namek in the manga.
Right.
Manga. No.
But we get to Namek, right?
Dragon Ball Z is not known for lots of filler. It had some, but we'll be covering series that has a lot more filler.
Oh, joy.
Anyway, we're moving on. We get to
Yeah.
Namek, only to figure out that we have this big, badass galactic tyrant here. Frieza.
Who you may have heard because this was like a few episodes after the Saiyan arc, so you might have heard of Frieza, Andrew. Yes?
Yeah,
No?
I remember Frieza. I don't think I saw Frieza fight, though.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
So, it ends up being that Vegeta figures out that Frieza's on the planet, also looking for another set of Dragon Balls. So he's like, fuck it, I'm going to Namek too. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to get those Dragon Balls.
I want to be
wanna be
immortal, so I can beat Frieza.
Yes. Anyway, gets to the point where Vegeta shows up, starts taking out Frieza's henchmen. Eventually gets
The Ginyu Force.
eventually gets cornered by Zarbon and Dodoria at certain points, who are Frieza's, like, I guess right-hand men at that point, even though they're weaker than the Ginyu Force.
How many right hands does he have?
2 in this case.
1.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Either that or they were just the strongest people he brought with him to that planet. I don't know.
And weren't Frieza's original henchmen all named after fruit?
Don't know.
Because I do remember there was
There's
like
Apul, who's just
like
Apple.
Apple, yeah, and I know there was like Razubi, like named after
I don't
raspberries.
remember. I honestly
Those are some
couldn't tell you.
intimidating
Yeah.
names.
There were so many side characters, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, but that's another one of the naming puns that Toriyama has for.
I mean, obviously Frieza is a freezer, come on.
Yeah. And the Ginyu Force, which we're just about to get into, are all named after dairy products. There's Geese, Buta, Likum, Gerd, and Ginyu. And Ginyu is a kind of dairy milk in Japanese.
But,
Well, I'm glad this is gross stuff and vegetables, or else it'd be making me hungry.
What? Cheese is not gross. Cheese is delicious.
Japanese cheese? I mean, wait, Japan cheese? Japa cheese.
Nice.
I'll figure this out later.
But we get there. Goku at this point has gotten himself a sensu bean, the magical little beans that rejuvenate your body, and is on his way.
That takes forever
It
to
takes
grow.
forever to grow, yes. And he's on his way to Namek too, but he's like 6 days out, I think. Whereas Gohan, Krillin, and Vegeta are now fighting for their lives. Like, they've had to make a temporary truce to deal with Frieza and his men, because Vegeta's not strong enough.
Yeah, and during this part, we just have random cuts to Goku training in space.
More filler!
Yeah, filler.
Hey, does Frieza know he looks like a girl?
I mean, I think the dub crew knew that, because originally they gave him, like, really raspy librarian voice.
Ah, that's probably another reason.
I remember that.
In the more current ones, he has a far more sophisticated British-sounding voice,
Ah,
even though he's way willing to torture and kill things easily. It's that juxtaposition of, I'm a brutal murderer, but I talk very sophisticatedly.
you do realize the British Empire is the most imperialistic empire of all time, though.
Debatable.
They did right, yeah, but I mean, America is. we're like their offshoot. We're the sequel.
I mean,
so
yeah, this is true. I was gonna say the American Empire. Come on.
we're pretty good at fucking shit up.
Yes, we are. And that may come to a head far sooner than we'd like. Anyway, off of current topics.
Yeah.
Back to anime. We have the Ginyu Force facing them down. At this point, Krillin and Gohan, I believe, have gotten a power boost from Guru, who is the spiritual leader of all of the Namekians.
The love guru.
Yes.
He's unlocked their hidden potential, quote unquote, and they're facing off against the Ginyu Force, getting their asses handed to them.
And let's just say the Ginyu Force is very random.
I mean,
because
the first opponent is Goldo, whose ability is to hold his breath and time pauses around him. as long as his breath is held.
I remember that.
Don't get me wrong,
Yeah, 'cause
it's
then
an
he's
interesting power, but he loses pretty quickly to Vegeta. He's completely outclassed in power.
Yeah.
His main power, running away.
Yeah, I was literally just about to say, I think I remember him just running away, right?
Pretty much. Then we have Raccoon, the powerhouse. Oh man. Like, he gets blasted full on in the face, just like, is that all you got? And my god, he tears all three of them a new one. Luckily for them, Goku actually lands on the planet at around that point, comes in, says, oh hey, you had an open spot right there, so I punched it.
Aw.
And literally one punches freaking Raccoon and kills him right there.
Goku, the original
Like,
One
I
Punch
think he
Man.
punches Raccoon, and I think it just eviscerates his internal organs. Like, that's the only explanation, because there's nothing on his body that's marred.
Nice.
So I'm just assuming it has internal organ failure, and that's it. Then we have Birder and Jace come in after realizing Raccoon's actually failed at this point. Birder, who calls himself the fastest in the universe, and Jace, who's just Space Australian.
And he's Pretty Boy.
Yes, Pretty Boy Space Australian. Oh, welcome to Space Australia. Space dingoes with your asshole.
Was that from the Team 4-Star?
More or less. It was probably not the exact same thing, but close.
Yep, and Team 4-Star does comedy dubs of popular
People know
anime.
this who don't. They're very famous. They're very internet famous.
Maybe they'll give us money.
Andrew probably doesn't know who they are.
Do they have money?
Yes.
All right, then.
See, now you know.
I'm a big fan.
But, yeah, Ginyu ends up showing up after Goku takes down Birder. Jace runs off, gets Captain Ginyu. Ginyu comes back, and then we have this whole thing where Jace, I believe, is taken down by Vegeta.
Yeah.
Ginyu ends up switching bodies with Goku because he has apparently this ability to do so, is just change bodies with people. And because he knows he's going to lose. So instead he's like, I'm going to just punch out my own heart and then change bodies with you, and you can die in this body.
Yeah.
Huh.
And stuff happens, and Ginyu becomes a frog.
Yeah, Ginyu switches back between his body and Goku's because he realizes he's going to die if he doesn't. Then realizes, hey, I can quick change into Vegeta's body. Goku ends up throwing a frog into the middle of the beam that was going to change Vegeta's body for Ginyu's, and thus Ginyu now is a frog, and his body is inhabited by a frog's mind.
Nice.
So Ginyu's mind is in the body of a frog, and the mind of a frog is in his own body.
So I'm assuming the frog in his body goes on to kick all their asses and win?
Nope, he just flops around and rivets and jumps like a frog would.
Damn it, frog.
Anyway, they throw Goku inside of a healing chamber in order to heal him on Frieza's ship. Meanwhile, Frieza's out looking for more Dragon Balls, so he has no idea what's going on there. Eventually gets to the point where Frieza realizes he's been duped, turns around, realizes the dragon's been summoned, and is being like, fuck all this, I want my immortality, bitches. Shows up, starts kicking the asses of Krillin, Gohan, and Vegeta. They have another little Namekian guy there called Dende who does healing. And before Frieza ends up showing up, they did manage to get two wishes off to resurrect Piccolo and bring him back to Namek.
And since the Namekian dragon can do 3 wishes.
Yes, whereas the Earth one only had 1 wish at this point.
Yep. And it's time for another round of puns with Toriyama. Everybody on Namek from this time around, is named after a slug.
Everybody loves slugs.
More delicious items.
They are slug people. They're green and they have antenna.
Yeah, and I think Dende is the most obvious, because I think Dende is slug in Japanese, I think.
Or it's Den Den, I forget which.
Yes, Denden.
Yeah, because there's another anime series I know of that uses Den Den as a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just call them homeless snails.
Oh.
Anyway, it gets to the point where Vegeta's like, Frieza's transforming. He's all like, oh, let me unlock my real power. Ooh. He transforms not once, not twice, but 3 times. So he has 4 forms.
Is that his final form?
Yes, his fourth form is technically his final form.
But he can upgrade his fourth form
100% power.
Even stronger.
So you can pay extra for the gold membership. I got it.
Oh!
I'm sorry. You don't know Andrew. You have no idea, but you just made the best joke without realizing it.
Those are my favorite kinds.
It's beautiful. To anybody who's been watching Dragon Ball Super, my god, you know exactly what we're laughing at.
Yes.
Oh god.
And just like, saying this, is the white parts on Frieza armor or his skin?
I believe it's all skin. Like, I don't think any part of him was armor except for in that first and second form. Okay, which I think he just sheds like skin once he gets to the final form.
Yeah, because his feet, face, and hands don't have the white parts on. So is that all like natural armoring?
I think it's natural armoring.
Ah, okay.
Like it's just it's kind of like a callus except harder.
Oh, ew.
Now, what animal did Frieza have sex with to produce Mewtwo?
I mean,
these are the tough questions that I need answers for.
I mean, the question is, I think Mewtwo may well have been inspired by Frieza.
Really?
I mean, if you guys have seen like the
sense.
mega forms of Mewtwo, you can definitely see it in that too. Like both X and Y have some very Dragon Ball Z feeling designs.
Yeah.
But yes, we get down to this point, right? Frieza's like fully transformed and has completely destroyed Gohan, Piccolo, and Vegeta, as well as Krillin. They're all just being there like, oh my god, what do we even do? Goku shows up, finally fully healed, starts fighting Frieza. Because he's been healed, we have this whole thing we call a Zenkai boost, which means when you're at the brink of death and you survive, and when you come back to full power, you get a power boost.
And just saying, at this point, Goku's power is close to 1 million.
Yeah, but Frieza's still got him beat.
1 million what?
And good point.
1 million units.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Kelvin.
Kind of like it's over 9,000. Goku's now at 1 million.
But they end up fighting, and Frieza, I think, is only using like a single-digit percentage of his power just to toy with Goku at this point. But Goku keeps pushing it off like until eventually it's like, look, Piccolo, you need to distract this fucker. I can't deal with him. I need to make a spirit bomb. So Piccolo ends up being the distraction while Goku gathers energy from around the universe, trying to gain enough energy to take down Frieza all at once with a single massive attack.
And charging the spirit bomb lasts about 3 episodes.
I'm not sure how much of that is filler or not, though.
Okay.
Like, I know there's padding in there. Like, they got to the point where a single chapter of the manga would end up being a single episode.
Okay.
Even, I think, half a chapter would end up being an episode.
Yeah, so he's charging the spirit bomb, and he passes it off to Krillin, because Frieza is, like, starting to notice what he's doing.
No?
Oh,
I don't think he ever passed it off to Krillin on Namek. He ends up... Like, Frieza realizes it, and Goku's got to throw it immediately. He doesn't have time to gain enough energy to hopefully take him out.
Oh,
he's at that brink.
The spirit bomb on Vegeta.
Yeah, he gave the spirit bomb to Krillin.
With Vegeta.
Yeah, with Vegeta.
Oh, okay.
During that first arc, we kind of bypassed that, but it's fine.
They all know.
Yeah, they all know. Yeah. They know. They know what they're here.
If you don't know, then leave.
Oh.
No, don't leave. Please stay.
We're so lonely here.
It's so lonely.
But we have Goku going in, throwing down the spirit bomb. It's taken out a good chunk of the area that was there. And they're like, oh man, I can't believe we actually managed to pull this off. Frieza's actually gone. Like, they can't sense his energy or anything. He's just straight up dead. Vegeta died earlier, too, because Frieza was just real pissed off at his mouth. Like, oh my god, the legendary Super Saiyan is here! And it's me, Vegeta! Nah, shut up, Vegeta. And Vegeta's eventually like, as he was about to die, basically like, you don't get it. Kakarot! Frieza destroyed our planet, he made me a slave! I can't
Oh no!
I can't do this anymore. Stabbed. He's just dead with a death beam through his heart.
And then Goku flips out and his hair turns gold.
No, not at that point. This was before. This
Oh.
was right when he showed up to fight Frieza. I just forgot to mention it. Anyway, Frieza appears apparently unblemished, undead, points at Krillin and basically tosses him up into the air and causes him to implode.
Oh, yes.
That's what triggers Goku's fury. Seeing his best friend from the original Dragon Ball murdered in front of his eyes. Ooh, man. His eyes go all white. He gets all angry. He goes, "Oh my god!" All of a sudden, he's got golden hair, green eyes, and he's all pissed off. He's ready to kill things.
Is that his final form?
No, of course not. No. We've got a long way to go.
My bad.
Long way to go.
So many forms.
Yeah.
Right, so
Yeah.
he goes in, fights Frieza, tells Gohan to take Piccolo, take Dende, and get the hell out of Dodge. Actually, no, Dende was dead at this point. He says, take Piccolo, get the hell out of Dodge. So they're going off to try to get to a spaceship to escape. What ends up happening is that King Kai talks to Kami on Earth, basically says, look, gather your Dragon Balls, we got a plan. They're going to wish back everyone that died on Namek, which then, because Guru died, the Dragon Balls died at that point. So bringing back everyone on Namek brings back Guru, which brings back the Namekian Dragon Balls, which leaves one wish unused. Dende goes over to
wish for more Dragon Balls?
No, Dende goes over, wishes everyone on Namek except for Goku and Frieza, at Goku's request to stay, be transported to Earth. So everyone that was on Namek is now gone. They're now all on Earth except for Frieza and Goku. Vegeta came back because he was killed by Frieza. So Vegeta's alive again.
Yep.
So Goku is now fighting Frieza on Namek. Namek is going to explode in like 5 minutes because Frieza has decided, fuck all of this, I'm just going to blow up the goddamn planet. I'll survive because I can breathe in space. You can't.
Boom.
So 5 minutes of fighting happens, which is God knows how many episodes in the anime.
Time compression.
30 episodes is 5 minutes. What the fuck?
Not actually, because I think like the entire Frieza fight is 30 episodes-ish.
Point is still like ridiculous amount of episodes for a 5-minute span.
Yeah.
It finally gets to the point where Goku takes out Frieza with his own, like, because Frieza basically like makes this energy blade like flying saucer thing, throws it at Goku. Goku does the classic, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and make this thing swing back and hit you by dodging it at the last second. So Frieza's own attack cuts himself in half, leaves him there for dead. Goku's like, look, fine, I'll give you a little bit of my energy, maybe you'll survive and fight me again later, but give up your evil ways. Frieza takes that energy, tries to blast Goku one last time.
Okay.
Frieza's beat up badly, is the point. Like, he cannot fight whatsoever. Goku quickly tries to escape Namek, but nobody knows if he makes it or not. So everyone on Namek is just like, everyone on Earth now is just like, did Goku make it? We can't tell. We don't know. King Kai doesn't even know. And then is essentially,
he did.
The end of the Namek saga. Like,
yeah, and I think we find out at the very end because they try to wish Goku back to life, and Shenron the Dragon is like, that's impossible. Goku is still alive.
Yeah, right. The dragon does tell them that Goku's still alive. Then they try to wish him to Earth, and he refuses.
And he's like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah, he refuses.
What a dick.
So instead, they wish for a new planet Namek for the Namekians to go and reside on. And then the next year, they wish for the Namekians to go there. So the Namekians are now off Earth, onto a new planet.
Because the Dragon Balls can be used once a year.
Yep. So they're now off Earth, onto a new planet. Everything's hunky-dory. Goku may or may not come back at some point, who knows. Vegeta flies off into space to try to find him and train at the same time.
And they all lived happily ever after.
And that's pretty much it.
For the most part.
I do want to point out, however, Just real quick, that you've been mispronouncing fajita the entire time.
Oh my god, no. Oh, he's actually a
Just letting you
Mexican
know.
delicacy. How could
I
I?
didn't mean to embarrass you.
Damn it! Now I'm hungry for fajitas.
Delicious, delicious.
Hey, at least
I,
it
I
doesn't
was
smell like
I was
fajitas.
hungry for tacos earlier today. Now I'm hungry for tacos and fajitas.
Andrew has
Crap.
accomplished his goal of ruining our lives.
Spanish cuisine.
Okay, and we're just gonna end it on a cliffhanger here. Come back next week for more Dragon Ball Z, and we will possibly try to make it a little bit less. Hopefully,
we'll be able to cut out,
No, man.
some
more.
stuff, I hope.
More.
yeah, some stuff.
More or
Some
less.
stuff we don't want to repeat.
Yeah, I'm totally cutting the part where I talk about how I ate that monkey. I'm cutting that out. People don't need to hear about that.
People don't want to hear the screams.
But you just
Yeah, it's the
brought it
screams
up.
part.
But you just brought it up.
What are you talking about? He brought this up at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah,
Oh.
but
You didn't hear the
You don't
monkey
remember?
screaming as he devoured it?
I did like a 10-minute tangent of just me eating a monkey.
It's awful. I'll never hear
It
those
was.
screams.
No, I admit that now. Looking back, I can understand that eating a monkey, including a living one, because you take it and you dip its back half into a deep fryer, and then you just eat that while the rest of it's alive. It's more humane.
Look, was it at least tasty?
No, there was hair everywhere. I'm an idiot.
Oh god. At least you
I'm-
have floss material.
Yeah, I'm gonna need it.
Okay, so until next time, Brandon 1 signing off.
Other Brandon's out.
Brandon, not Brandon, who is Andrew, signing out.